I thought my husband was working late. Until I saw my sister drop him off in the same clothes he left with that morning. I need to write this down. Before I lose my mind completely. Before the weight of what I've done crushes me so hard I can't breathe anymore. My name is Sarah. And I destroyed everything. It started 6 months ago. Not the affair. The lying. The moment I convinced I deserved more than what I had. My husband Jake and I had been married for 8 years. Together for 12. We have 2 kids. Emma is 7. Noah's 4. Had a house in the suburbs. Jake worked in IT, long hours, good pay. I was a marketing coordinator working from home 3 days a week. On paper, we were fine. More than fine. We were the couple people envied at barbecues. But I was bored. God, I admitting that. Bored, like that's a reason to entire. But I was. The same conversations. The same routine. Jake coming home tired. Me pretending I wasn't counting down the minutes until the kids went to bed so I could scroll my phone in peace. We hadn't been intimate in months, maybe longer. I stopped counting. Then I met Ryan at a work conference in March. He was a consultant. Tall, charming, made me laugh in the hotel bar after the seminars ended. We talked for 3 hours. He listened to me. Actually listened. Asked questions about my dreams, things I'd forgotten I even had. When he touched my hand across the table, I didn't pull away. Nothing happened that night. I went back to my room alone. But I saved his number. We started texting. Just friendly at first. Memes. Complaints about work. Then deeper. He'd ask how I was really doing. I'd tell him things I hadn't told Jake in years. How invisible I felt. How I missed feeling wanted. How I looked in the mirror and wondered when I became someone who just existed instead of lived. Ryan made me feel seen again. The first time we met was in May. Coffee, I told. Just coffee with a friend. Jake was working late. My mom had the kids. I wore makeup for the first time in weeks. A dress that actually fit my body instead of hiding it. Coffee turned into lunch. Lunch turned into walking through the park. His hand found mine. I let it stay there. Deserve to be happy, he said. And I believed him. We in his car. I initiated it. I can't even blame him for that. I leaned across the console and pressed my mouth to his, and for 5 seconds I felt alive again. Wanted. Desired. Something other than mom or Jake's wife, or the person who pays the electric bill. Then I pulled back and cried. He held me. Didn't pressure me. Just held me while I sobbed about how confused I was. I should have ended it there. Blocked his number. Confessed to Jake. Gone to therapy. Done literally anything else. Instead, I went back. The second time we didn't stop at kissing. It was a kiss day afternoon. Jake thought I was at a dentist appointment. The kids were at school and daycare. Ryan had rented a hotel room. Not seedy. Nice. He'd brought flowers. I remember standing in that room, looking at the bed, knowing exactly what I was about to do. Knowing it would change everything. And I did it anyway. Because in that moment, I wanted to feel something other than numb. It happened 4 more times over 6 weeks. Always when Jake was working. Always when I could construct the perfect alibi. I became an expert liar. Effortless. Shameless. Jake suspected nothing. Why would he? I was the same Sarah I'd always been. Packed lunches. Did laundry. Him goodbye every morning. Made dinner. Helped with homework. Except I wasn't the same. I was hollow. Playing a role. Going through motions while my real thoughts were somewhere else. With someone else. My sister Megan was the only person who knew something was wrong. Not about Ryan. Just that I seemed off. She'd ask if everything was okay with Jake and me. I'd brush her off. Say we were fine. Tell her she worried too much. Megan and I had always been close. She was 2 years younger, single, worked as a nurse. She'd come over for dinner every Sunday. The kids adored her. Jake treated her like the sister he never had. The last time I saw Ryan was July 5th. A Wednesday. He wanted to meet for lunch. I said yes. Planned the lie. Smiled at Jake that morning when he left for work. But when I got to the restaurant, Ryan wasn't alone. His wife was there. She was pregnant. He'd never mentioned a wife. Not once. In all our conversations, all our texts, all those hotel rooms, he'd never said a single word about being married. I stood frozen in the doorway, and while his wife smiled at me, hand on her belly, asking if I was Sarah from Ryan's office. He'd told her I was a coworker. That we were discussing a project. I played along. Shook her hand. Sat down. Ordered a salad I couldn't eat. Made small talk while my entire world tilted sideways. Ryan caught my eye once. Gave me a look that said play along, so I did. I drove home in a daze. Blocked his number. Deleted every text. Every photo. Like I could erase what I'd done. That night, Jake asked why I seemed quiet. I told him I was tired. He rubbed my shoulders. Asked if I wanted to watch our show. I said yes. We sat on the couch. His arm around me. My head on his chest. And I felt nothing but disgust with. For 3 weeks, I tried to pretend it never happened. Tried to be a better wife. More present. More engaged. Jake noticed. Said I seemed happier. Asked if something had changed. I smiled and said no. Everything's the same. Then came August 6th, the day everything fell apart. Jake had been working late all week on some big project. Told me not to wait. I'd been putting the kids to bed alone, eating dinner alone, going through the motions. That Tuesday he left at 7 a.m. in his gray button-down and black pants. My cheek. Said he'd probably be home around 9. At 10 a.m. I got a text from Megan. Can I stop by later? Need to talk to about something. I said sure. Figured she wanted advice about a guy or was stressed about work. She showed at 2 p.m. while the kids were still at school and daycare. I opened the door smiling. She was crying. I'm so sorry, she said. I'm so sorry. Dropped. What happened? Are okay? She walked past me into the living room, wouldn't look at me. Megan, scaring me. She finally turned. Her face was destroyed. Red. Swollen. Mascara streaked. It's been 6 months, she whispered. I tried to end it. But he said he loved me. That too were over. That hadn't been happy in years. The room started spinning. What are talking about? Jake, she said. Jake and me. The words didn't make sense. Like she was speaking a language I'd never learned. I dropped him off this morning. She continued. Voice breaking. He stayed over last night. I've been picking him when he tells he's working late. I cook him dinner. We watch movies. She couldn't finish. She didn't have to. My husband wasn't working late. He was with my sister. While I was putting our kids to bed alone. He was with her. While I was feeling guilty about Ryan destroying with shame. Jake was sleeping in my sister's bed. He said we're just roommates. Megan sobbed. That hadn't touched each other in over a year. That we're staying together for the kids, but it was over. I believed him, Sarah. I'm so sorry. I believed him. I should have screamed. Cried, thrown her out, hit her. Something. Instead I sat down on the couch. Cold. How long? I asked. March, she whispered. March? The same month I met Ryan. The same month I convinced I was justified. That Jake didn't care anymore. That I deserved more. He'd already been gone. I didn't kick Megan out. I should have. Should have screamed at her. Thrown things, made her leave. But I just sat there while she cried and apologized and tried to explain how it happened. They'd run into each other at a coffee shop in March. Started talking. He seemed sad, she said. Told her things weren't good at home. She suggested they grab lunch sometime. As friends. To talk. 1 lunch became 2. 2 became weekly. Then twice a week. Then he started texting her. Calling her after I went to bed. Telling her things he should have been telling me. He made me feel special, Megan said, and I almost laughed because those were the exact words I'd used about Ryan. She said Jake told her I was cold. Distant. That I'd checked out of the marriage years ago. That he was lonely. That he'd tried to fix things but I wouldn't meet him halfway. When did it become physical? I asked. My voice sounded like it belonged to someone else. Flat. Dead. She flinched. May. I know that doesn't make it better. I know it's all awful. But Sarah, I thought 2 were done. I thought I wasn't destroying anything that wasn't already destroyed. May. While I was sneaking off to hotel rooms with Ryan, Jake was with my sister. The symmetry of it would have been funny if it wasn't so horrifying. Does anyone else know? I asked. She shook her head. Just us. He was going to tell soon. He said he was waiting for the right time, said he didn't want to the kids. That's when something cracked inside me. Not broke. Just cracked, a thin fracture spreading across everything I thought I knew. Get out, I said quietly. Sarah, please. Let me explain more. Let me. Get out of my house. She left. I sat on the couch until 3 p.m. when I had to pick Noah from daycare, put on sunglasses even though it was cloudy, smiled at the teachers, buckled him into his car seat, got Emma from school, made them snacks, turned on cartoons. Then I went upstairs and went through Jake's things. I found the burner phone in his gym bag, the one he'd been using to text her. Hundreds of messages. Photos, not explicit ones, thank God. Together. Smiling. His arm around her. Her kissing his cheek. Screenshots of house listings. Places they'd looked at together. Planning a future. A jewelry receipt from June. An engagement ring, not for me, for her. I sat on our bedroom floor with his second phone in my hands, and tried to remember the last time Jake had looked at me. The way he looked at Megan in those photos, I couldn't. The worst part wasn't the affair, it was reading his messages. Seeing how he talked about me. She's given. On herself, on us, on everything. I can't remember the last time she seemed happy to see me. It's like living with a ghost. The kids are the only reason I'm still there. I've never felt this with anyone. Not even in the beginning with her. Every message was a. But he wasn't wrong. I had checked out. I had become a ghost. I'd been so focused on what I wasn't getting that I never asked what I wasn't giving. I heard Jake's car in the driveway at 6 p.m. Early for him. Or early for what I thought was him working late. He came in smiling. My forehead. Asked what was for dinner. Ruffled Noah's hair. Asked Emma about school. Playing perfect dad, perfect husband. I waited until after dinner. After baths. After bedtime stories. After the kids were asleep and it was just us in the living room with the TV on low. Megan came by today, I said. His whole body went rigid. Didn't even try to hide it. She told me everything. I continued, my voice steady. About March. About the coffee shop, the lunches, all of it. Jake's face went white, then red, then white again. Sarah, let me explain. How long we're going to keep lying? I asked. Another month. Another year. Until found the right time. He stood. Started pacing. It's not what think. Really. Because I think been sleeping with my sister since May. I think been telling her we're over. I think been looking at houses together. I think bought her a ring. His eyes went to the burner phone on the coffee table. I'd left it there. Wanted him to see it. Went through my things. His voice cracked with anger. With the audacity to be offended. Been living a second? I shouted. The first real emotion since Megan left. Been lying to me every single day for 6 months? Been with my sister? Think I wanted this? He yelled back. Think I planned to fall in love with Megan? I tried Sarah. For years I tried. But, weren't there. Haven't been there. When's the last time looked at me like even liked me? When's the last time we had a real conversation? When's the last time touched me without me asking first? So it's my fault. My voice was shaking now. I'm the reason couldn't keep it in pants. I'm not blaming. I'm explaining. We've been broken for a long time. We both know it. This marriage has been over for years. We've just been too scared to admit it. And God help me, he was right. We were broken. Had been for a long time. I knew it every time I fantasized about running away. Every time I chose my phone over talking to him. Every time I felt relief when he worked late instead of disappointment. Every time I drove to a hotel to meet another man. The confession sat on my tongue like I could have thrown it at him. Could have said, "We're not the only one who cheated." Could have made it even. Made us both guilty. Made feel less alone in my shame. But I didn't. Because I'd seen his messages. I'd seen him planning a future with someone else. He didn't just cheat. He fell in love. He was leaving, and the horrible truth was part of me felt relieved. What happens now? I asked finally. Jake sat back down. Put his head in his hands. I don't know. I didn't want to find out like this. I was going to talk to Win? Soon. That's not an answer. He looked at me. His eyes were wet. I want a divorce, Sarah. I'm sorry. I know that's not what want to hear. But I can't do this anymore. I can't pretend. And can't either. Honest. Are happy? No, I wasn't. Hadn't been in years. What about the kids? I whispered. We'll figure it out. Custody. Visitation. We'll make it work. We'll put them first. And Megan. His jaw tightened. I love her. 3 words. That's all it took to shatter whatever was left. Get out. I said, Sarah, get out of this house. Tonight. Now, get out. He left, packed a bag. Walked out the door 11 p.m. I watched from the window as he drove away. Then I went upstairs and checked on the kids. Both sleeping. Emma with her stuffed rabbit. Noah with his thumb in his mouth. They had no idea their world was ending. I should have told Jake about Ryan. Should have confessed. Should have made it clear we were both guilty. But I didn't. Because somewhere in my broken, selfish mind, I thought if I kept my secret, I could control the narrative. Could be the victim. Could make him the only bad guy. I thought I could protect. I was wrong. Jake moved in with Megan that night. My mother called me the next morning. She'd heard from Megan. Wanted to know if it was true. Yes. I told her. It's true. How could she do this? My mother cried. Her own sister. How could Jake do this too? I didn't answer. Just said I had to go. Had to tell the kids. Emma asked where Daddy was at breakfast. I told her he had to go away for work. She asked when he'd be back. I said I wasn't sure. Noah didn't ask. Just ate his cereal and watched cartoons. Jake's parents called that afternoon. Wanted my side of the story. I gave them the basic facts. He cheated with my sister. He left, we're getting divorced. They were horrified. Supportive. Told me they were so sorry. That they'd raised him better than this. Friends started finding out. The Whisper network activated. By the end of the week, everyone knew. Poor Sarah. Her husband left her for her own sister. How awful. How devastating. Can imagine. I let them believe I was blindsided. Let them treat me like a victim. Brought casseroles. Offered to watch the kids. Sent long texts about what a piece of trash Jake was. I played the role perfectly. Devastated wife. Betrayed woman. Innocent party. And every day the secret ate me alive. Because I wasn't innocent. I'd done the same thing. Maybe not with someone's sibling. Maybe not with the same level of planning. But I'd cheated too. I'd lied too. I'd broken our vows too. Ryan kept trying to contact me from new numbers. I blocked every one. He even showed at my house once in September. I didn't answer the door. Just watched through the window until he left. Jake and I started divorce proceedings in late August. He wanted 50-50 custody. I wanted primary. We fought about it through lawyers. Cost thousands of dollars we didn't have. The kids started acting out. Emma's teacher called. Said she was having trouble focusing. Getting aggressive with other kids. Noah started wetting the bed again. It's normal. The school counselor said. They're processing the divorce. Give it time. But it wasn't just the divorce. It was me. My guilt. My constant anxiety that somehow they'd find out what I'd done. That Jake would find out. That everyone would find out. I started drinking at night after they went to bed. Just a glass. Then 2. Then half a bottle. Then a whole bottle. My mother noticed at Sunday dinner in October. Noticed my hands shaking. The weight I'd lost. The dark circles. Need to take care of. She said. I'm fine. I lied. Megan didn't come to Sunday dinners anymore. My mother had her off. Told her she'd broken the family. That what she'd done was unforgivable. I should have felt vindicated. Should have felt like justice was served. Instead I felt hollow. Because my mother didn't know I'd done the same thing. Because my family had chosen me. Because they were loving me while I was lying to them. The worst part came in November. Jake started bringing Megan around the kids. Emma came home from a weekend at his place and asked why Aunt Megan was there. I told her Aunt Megan and Daddy were friends now. That sometimes adults' relationships change. Do still love Daddy? She asked. It's complicated, baby. I said. Do still love Aunt Megan? I didn't have an answer. Noah was too young to understand. He just knew Daddy lived somewhere else now. That Mommy cried sometimes. That things were different and scary and wrong. By December, Jake and Megan were engaged. Actually engaged. He'd given her the ring he bought in June. My mother found out through Facebook. Called me sobbing. How dare they? How could they flaunt it? So soon. So cruel. I agreed. Said all the right things. Shared her outrage. But late that night, after too much, I pulled out my old phone. The one I'd been keeping in my nightstand drawer. And I looked at the deleted messages I'd archived from Ryan. Read them all again. Every. Beautiful. Every. I can't stop thinking about. Every. Deserve better. And I realized I was angry at Jake and Megan for doing exactly what I'd done. For wanting something else. Something more. Something that felt alive. I was a hypocrite. And worse than that, I was still lying about it. The truth came out the way these things always do. Accidentally. Stupidly, inevitably. It was January. 3 days after New Year's. Emma had a half day at school and I'd picked her early. We stopped at Target for supplies. Just a normal Wednesday afternoon. I was in the checkout line when I heard someone say my name. I turned around and there was Ryan's wife, 8 months pregnant now. Huge belly. Wedding ring catching the fluorescent lights. My turn to ice. Sarah, right? She said, smiling, from Ryan's office. Emma was looking at me. Waiting for me to respond. Yes. I managed. I thought that was. How've been. Still working on that project with Ryan. There was no project. There had never been a project. Actually, I switched companies. I lied, different department. Haven't worked with him in months. Oh, that's too bad. He always spoke so highly of Bon. She shifted her shopping basket. We're having a girl, by the way. Due in 6 weeks. Ryan's terrified. I smiled. Congratulated her. Made some comment about how exciting it must be. Have kids, right? She asked, looking at Emma. Too, I said. It's the best. Hard, but the best. She paused. Hey, this is random. But would want to grab coffee sometime. Ryan said we're going through a divorce. I went through one before I met Ryan. It's brutal. Always helps to have someone who gets it. Every word was a nail in my coffin. Emma tugged my sleeve. Mommy, who is this? Just someone from Mommy's old work, I said quickly. Ryan's wife smiled at Emma. Sweetie, I'm Jennifer. I'm Emma. I'm 7 3/4. Wow, 7 3/4. That's very grown. I needed to end this conversation. Needed to get out of this store before I said something that revealed everything. It was great running into. I said, already turning my cart toward the exit. But we really need to get going. Good luck with everything. Wait. Jennifer pulled out her phone. Let me get number. Seriously. Coffee. I know some great divorce lawyers if need recommendations. I gave her a number, smiled, left. In the car. Emma asked who Jennifer was. I said just someone I used to work with. No one important. That should have been the end of it. But Emma mentioned it to Jake that weekend. Told him about the pregnant lady at Target who knew Mommy from work. Said she seemed really nice. Jake called me Sunday night after he dropped the kids off. Emma said ran into someone from old job, he said. Someone pregnant. Said her name was Jennifer. My heart stopped. Yeah. Just a random person. Haven't seen her in months. What company was she with? I don't remember. Why does it matter? Doesn't. He paused. Emma said she mentioned someone named Ryan. That worked on a project together. The room tooted. That was nothing. I said. Just some consultant I worked with briefly. Why are interrogating me about this? I'm not interrogating. I'm just asking. Well, Stop asking. It's none of business who I run into at Target. I hung. Sat on my bed. Tried to breathe. He knew something. I could hear it in his voice. The suspicion. The curiosity. For 2 weeks, nothing happened. I started to relax. Started to think maybe I was paranoid. Then Ryan called me from a new number in late January. I should have ignored it. Should have blocked it immediately. But I was weak and scared and, what do you want? I answered. We need to talk, he said. My wife knows. Everything inside me went cold. Knows what? About us. About the affair. She found old credit card statements. The hotel rooms. She confronted me. I had to tell her the truth. Told her about me. My voice was shaking. I didn't have a choice, Sarah. She was going to leave. I had to explain. I told her it was over. That it meant nothing. That I was trying to save our marriage. It meant nothing. I was yelling now. Destroyed my thing. I destroyed. We're already married. We're the one cheating. Get away from me. Don't ever contact me again. I hung. Blocked the number. But the damage was done. Because Jennifer knew my name. Knew where I lived. Knew about my kids. And she was furious. She called me 2 days later from Ryan's phone. Piece of trash, she said. Her voice was shaking with rage. Knew he was married. Knew I was pregnant. And slept with him anyway. I didn't know. I said. I swear I didn't know about until, Lear, he told me everything. The texts. The hotels. How pursued him. How wouldn't leave him alone. That was a lie. But it didn't matter. She needed someone to blame and I was right there. I'm sorry. I whispered. I'm so sorry. Sorry doesn't fix this. Sorry doesn't give me back the last year of my. Sorry doesn't make me trust my husband again. What do you want from me? I want to know what it feels like, she said. To have someone take what's yours. She hung. I knew what was coming. Knew it with absolute certainty. She was going to tell Jake. It took 3 days. Jake showed at my door on a Saturday morning. The kids were at my mother's. He looked like he hadn't slept. We need to talk, he said. I let him in. We sat in the living room where I'd confronted him about Megan 5 months ago. I got a call yesterday, Jake said slowly. From a woman named Jennifer. Said her husband Ryan had an affair. Starting in May. I didn't deny it. Couldn't. The evidence existed. The hotel records. The texts I deleted but that Ryan had kept. Is it true? Jake asked. Yes, I whispered. His face changed. Went from confused to understanding to rage in seconds. I've been playing the victim this whole time, he said. Been letting everyone feel sorry for. Letting them, me and Megan. While we're doing the same thing. It's not the same. How is it not the same? He stood. I cheated. We both destroyed this marriage. We're both guilty. Fell in love with my sister, I said. Planned a future with her. That's worse. I said. Think sleeping with some random guy in a hotel room is better. Think lying to everyone about it is better. He was right. It wasn't better. It was just different. I was going to tell. I lied. When? After the divorce was final. After it took me for everything in court. After convinced everyone I was the only villain. I don't know. And that was true. I didn't know when I would have told him. Maybe never. Jake paced the room. This changes everything. The custody agreement. The support. Everything. What are talking about? I've been acting like I abandoned. Like I'm the reason our kids are suffering. But checked out first. Cheated first didn't. March. When did it start? May, I said. But met him in March. Jennifer told me. At some conference. That's when it started. March. The same month Jake met Megan. We'd both been looking for the exit at the same time. We destroyed this together, Jake said quietly. We both gave. We both found other people. We both lied. I started crying. Not pretty tears, gasping sobs. I know. The kids are going to find out, he said. Jennifer is angry. She's going to tell people. And once people know, everyone will know. Mother, my parents, our friends, Emma and Noah. That's what broke me completely. The image of Emma and Noah finding out their mother was a cheater. A liar. Just as bad as their father. We can't let them find out, I begged. Please, Jake. They can't know. How do we stop it? Jennifer is out for. She's already posted about it in some Facebook group. No names yet, but it's only a matter of time. He was right. The truth was coming. Fast and inevitable as a train. My mother found out 2 days later. Someone from her church had seen Jennifer's Facebook post. Figured out it was about me. Told my mother. She called me in tears. Tell me it's not true. Tell me didn't do this. I couldn't lie to her anymore. Couldn't pretend. It's true, I said. I had an affair. I'm sorry. The silence on the other end was worse than yelling. How could? She finally said. How could let me defend? Let me off, sister. Let me, Jake. When we're doing the same thing. It wasn't the same. It's exactly the same. Or both cheaters. Or both liars. And let me choose sides when there were no sides to choose. Mom, please. I can't talk to right now. I need time. She hung, didn't call back for 3 weeks. My friends found out. Some stuck around. Most didn't. The ones who'd brought casseroles and offered support disappeared. Stopped responding to texts. Unfriended me on social media. I became the woman who played victim while hiding her own sins. Jake's family found out. They stopped being supportive. Stopped offering to babysit. His mother called me and said she was disappointed. That she'd thought I was better than this. The custody agreement changed. Jake's lawyer argued I'd been dishonest and manipulative. That I'd used the affair to gain sympathy and advantage. My lawyer argued Jake had done worse. Cheated with family. Planned to leave. The judge was unimpressed with both of us. Gave us 50-50 custody. Said we were equally responsible for destroying our marriage. Told us to grow and put our kids first. Emma started therapy in March. The school counselor insisted. Said she was showing signs of anxiety and depression. Was having nightmares. Was withdrawing from friends. One night in April she asked me if I knew why Daddy left. Because we weren't happy anymore. I said carefully. Was it my fault? No, baby. Never. This is between Daddy and me. Did both do something bad? I looked at my 7-year-old daughter and saw her trying to make sense of something no child should have to understand. Yes, I said honestly. Both made mistakes, big ones, and we're both very sorry. Is that why Grandma doesn't come over anymore? My mother had started talking to me again. But it was different. Strained, careful. She saw both of us now. Me and Jake. 2 people who destroyed a family through selfishness. Grandma's just busy. I lied. Emma looked at me with those big, knowing eyes. 7 years old and already learning that adults lie. That parents fail. That families fall apart. I miss when we were all together. She whispered. Me too, baby. But that was another lie. Because I didn't miss it. I missed the idea of it. The picture we'd presented to the world. But the reality had been empty for years. Megan reached out in May. Asked if we could talk. I said no. Then yes. Then no again. We finally met for coffee in June. Sat across from each other like strangers. I'm sorry, she said. For everything. For Jake. For breaking trust. Stop, I said. I don't want apologies. I just want to understand. Why him? Why my husband? She looked down at her coffee. I don't have a good answer. It just happened. One conversation led to another. I knew it was wrong. I knew I was betraying. But he made me feel things I'd never felt before. That's how I felt about Ryan. I admitted. She looked surprised. Don't me? I do. I said honestly. But I also understand. We're both terrible people who did terrible things. Don't get to be worse just because it was my husband. And I don't get to be better just because I kept mine secret longer. We didn't reconcile. Didn't hug. Didn't promise to rebuild our relationship. We just acknowledged what we were. 2 women who'd blown their own lives chasing feelings that didn't last. Jake and Megan got married in July. Small ceremony. I found out through Emma, who came home with pictures on Jake's phone. Asked why she couldn't be a flower girl. I told her sometimes adults do things that don't include everyone. She accepted this like she accepted everything now. With quiet resignation. With the understanding that her family was broken and wouldn't be fixed. Noah started kindergarten in September. His teacher called after the first week. Said he was hitting other kids. Wouldn't share. Couldn't follow rules. He's struggling with impulse control, she said. Has there been any instability at home? I wanted to laugh. Instability. That was one word for it. Ryan and Jennifer stayed together. Had their baby. Moved to a different state. I know because I looked them online one night after too much. Saw their happy family photos. Their fresh start. They got to move on. Got to rebuild. I'm the same house. With the same broken routines. Except now everyone knows the truth. I see it in their faces at school pickup. At the grocery store. At parent-teacher conferences. There's Sarah. The one who cheated and lied. The one who played victim. The one who destroyed her family, and her sister's relationship, and everyone's trust. Some nights I lie awake and wonder what would have happened if I'd just been honest from the start. If I'd told Jake I was unhappy. If I'd suggested counseling. If I'd done literally anything besides looking for validation in a stranger's bed. Other nights I wonder what would have happened if I'd never gone to that conference. If I'd never met Ryan. If I'd just stayed in my unhappy marriage until Jake left me anyway. But most nights I don't wonder anything. I just lie there in the dark. Listening to my kids breathe in their rooms. Knowing I did this to them. Knowing Jake did this to them. Knowing we were both so focused on our own happiness that we forgot theirs. Emma asked me last week if people can ever really forgive each other. I wanted to say yes. Wanted to give her hope. Wanted to tell her that love conquers all and families heal, and everything works out eventually. Instead I told her the truth. Sometimes, I said. But sometimes the damage is too deep. Sometimes people just learn to live with the scars. She thought about this. Then said, "Do have scars, Mommy?" "Yes, baby, I do." "Do they?" "Every single day." That's what no one tells about affairs. About cheating. About blowing for temporary feelings. They tell about the guilt. The shame. The consequences. But they don't tell about the after. The forever after. The looking at kids and knowing chose a few hours of feeling wanted over their stability. Knowing daughter will go into every relationship wondering if people she loves will leave. Knowing son learned before he could tie his shoes that promises mean nothing. They don't tell that never really forgive. That every holiday, every birthday, every milestone will be tinged with the knowledge that it could have been different. Should it have been different? That had something imperfect but real, and traded it for something that felt good for a few weeks and cost everything. Jake and Megan seem happy. Good for them. Maybe they'll make it. Maybe they'll the odds. Or maybe in a few years they'll be sitting in their own living room, wondering why they aren't happy, looking for exits, repeating the same cycle with different names. I don't know. I don't care anymore. I only care about Emma and Noah. About getting them through this. About teaching them to be better than their parents. About showing them that when make terrible choices, live with them. Don't run. Don't hide. Face what's done and try to be better. Even when better feels impossible. My mother says time heals. That eventually this will all be a painful memory. That the kids will be okay. That I'll be okay. But I don't think so. I think some breaks don't heal. Some choices don't get undone. I look at old photos sometimes. Of me and Jake on our wedding day. Of us with newborn Emma. Of family vacations and birthday parties, and ordinary Tuesday nights, when we were just living our lives. Not knowing how close we were to destroying them. And I can pinpoint the exact moment I gave, when I stopped fighting for us, and started looking for someone else to make me feel alive. It wasn't when I met Ryan. It wasn't when I him or slept with him or lied to my husband. It was before that. In the thousands of small moments, when I chose comfort over connection. When I stopped asking Jake about his day. And started resenting that he asked about mine. When I stopped seeing him as a partner and started seeing him as an obstacle to my happiness. That's when I lost him. That's when we lost each other. And by the time we both realized what was happening, we'd already replaced each other with people who didn't know how tired we were, how much we'd failed, how ordinary and flawed and human we really were. We wanted to be seen as special again, as desirable, as worth choosing. And in chasing that feeling, we forgot we'd already been chosen, years ago, by each other. Emma turns 8 next month. Noah turns 6 in the spring. They're growing in 2 houses with parents who destroyed their family because they were bored. Bored. That's what this was all about. Boredom. Restlessness. The feeling that there had to be something more. There wasn't. There was just different. Different problems, different pain, different ways to fail. I don't get to be the victim in this story. Neither does Jake. Neither does Megan. Neither does Ryan. We're all just selfish people, who the people we were supposed to protect. And now we get to live with it. Every single day for the rest of our lives. I run into Jennifer sometimes, pushing a stroller through Target. And I wonder if she tells her daughter the same lie I tell mine, that sometimes people make mistakes, and those mistakes just happen, like weather. When really, we chose them, carefully and deliberately, one small betrayal at a time, until there was nothing left to save.